In single page applications, you have multiple views, multiple functionality, without ever having to fully reload your page. Having said so, you might still want to have different URLs for different parts of this application. Because, for example, you might want to link to some content in that application, or you might want to be able to go back on the browser to another URL. Angular provides the ability to define custom routes to different parts of your app. So let's see how this is working on the Finish tab. When I go to New Expense, you saw that the expenses new was added after the hash. If I go back, now we have expenses. If I edit an expense, we have edit and then the number, the ID of the expense. So if we go to a different one, it's a different ID. If we want to delete, that also links to a different URL. On Angular, the custom URLs that you define go after the hash. If you go into more advanced options in the documentation, you can also use the exclamation sign after the hash or get rid of the hash altogether. But we're going to use the hash in this case. The first thing to do is to download from the Angular website, or using Bower if you're a more advanced user, the module Angular route. When you downloaded Angular originally, there was a dialog that asked if you wanted extra modules. In there you'll find route. So you need to include that one after Angular. Take a look at the container. In here we used to have all of that code showing all the lists. And now we don't have anything. Instead, it says ng view. This is because we're going to be placing different views, different HTML files inside of this container according to the URL. Let's take a look at the file structure of what the project is going to look now. We have a new views folder, and in there we have two views, which are the two pages that we want to have. These are not the pages that I showed you when we introduced Bootstrap. In this case, they're just expenses is the same code that we had before inside of the container, but it's not an entire HTML page. That's basically what I mean. In terms of expense form, I'm just showing a sample page that we'll use later. It has a URL to the home and a URL to some non-existing route, just to show you how that can be handled too. But we won't cover that in this particular video. Let's go back to index. So we included route. There, in this part is where all the views are going to go. And the last thing we need to do in order to start using this is to actually inject this new module into our main application module. And this module is called ng route, like so. So after we've included this module, now we can start using it.